Welcome back. We are starting a new organ system. This time it's the digestive system. So in this first part, we're going to have an overview of the digestive system. Okay, so when we're talking about the digestive system, we're talking about the organs that are going to be processing the food that we take in, and we can kind of divide them into two big categories. Those that are going to be part of what we call an alimentary canal. So this is going to start basically with our mouth, to which we have a big tubular structure. Starts in the mouth, ends at our anus at the other end. So we have this tube, and the food goes in this tube. As long as the food is in the tube, technically it's outside of the cells of our body. So even though it's like inside our body, it's actually outside of our body and can come out the other end. And then we are going to have four accessory organs. The first is going to be in our mouth, and then the other three are going to be in our abdomen. And they're called accessory organs because they're organs that have ducts that are going to have secretions that dump into the alimentary canal. So when we're talking about food processing, there's four steps. So think of that word idea, I-D-E-A, and let's misspell it, as many students are apt to misspell it, as I-D-A-E. So the first step in food processing is ingestion. As long as the food is sitting on the plate, you are not processing it. I don't care how much you're cutting it up on the plate, you're not processing the food. You have to ingest it into your mouth to start the food processing. After that, we are going to be digesting it. The digestion is going to start in the stomach, and it's going to continue through your small intestine. Then you have to start absorbing the food, which will happen in the small intestine, and most of the food will be absorbed into your bloodstream. However, some items get absorbed into your lymphatic system, which then, as we learn from the lymphatic system, eventually gets dumped back into your bloodstream up here by your subclavian veins, right before that blood gets dumped into your heart. And then anything that doesn't get absorbed is going to be eliminated. Poop. All right. This entire process takes about 24 hours. Now, that is variable in people. If you want to know how long it takes in you, eat something that doesn't get fully digested and absorbed, such as corn kernels. So eat corn kernels, note what time you're eating them, and then just start monitoring your poop and see when you have corn show up in the toilet. And then you have a pretty good idea how long your food processing takes. So let's look at the wall of this alimentary canal. Of course, not in the mouth, but once we leave the mouth all the way down, it's going to look like this. And we're going to have basically four layers going on. So right here in the middle, this is considered the surface. This is the lumen where the food would be. And so on the surface, this layer is called the mucosa. And so just like every surface in your body, it has to have an epithelium, and the type of epithelium it has depends where we are. So we will be talking different epithelium. I'll be showing you pictures. You need to figure out what type of epithelium that is. Sometimes I'll give you a hint. Other times you need to figure it out. Still in the mucosa, just below the epithelium, we're going to have a supportive connective tissue. So it could be a relar connective tissue, could be that's most likely. And in this connective tissue, depending where you are, there could be glands, because a lot of the places we're going to be adding secretions, for instance, in our stomach and in our small intestine, and other places like in our esophagus, we won't have glands because we're not adding secretion. So we'll go through those details as we talk about the pathway. And the other thing that we have most along the entire pathway are going to be these lymph nodules. Why? In case there are bacteria or things that want to breach the surface. Our first line of defense is broken. We need to have our macrophages, our T cells, and our B cells ready to fight here. Deep to the mucosa, so now we're getting away from the lumen, deep to the mucosa, the next layer is going to be called the submucosa, which just means below the mucosa. And this connective tissue is very vascular. You can see all the blood vessels in it. And notice that if there were glands in the mucosa, the glands can extend all the way down deep into this submucosa. And also notice that there are nerves in this layer, and that's because the nerves are going to make these glands secrete. They're going to make the cells in these glands. When these nerves are stimulated, they're going to make those cells secrete what they're supposed to be secreting. This is really important because when you just think about food and think about eating, the glands in your stomach start secreting in anticipation. Continuing deep, our next layer is called the muscularis layer because it contains smooth muscle, which means it's not voluntary. And this also, as you can see, has extensive innervation, and this innervation is parasympathetic innervation. And so when it's stimulated, it's going to cause this smooth muscle to contract. And then our final outermost layer is called the serosa. And on the very surface, you can see this simple squamous epithelium, and that simple squamous epithelial surface, that is your visceral peritoneum. So those are the layers in the wall of your digestive system in the alimentary canal. So looking at the muscles of the digestive tract in that muscularis layer, there's more than one layer of smooth muscle. We have a circular layer of smooth muscle. So when it contracts, it's squishing whatever is there in that particular area. And then we have a longitudinal layer of smooth muscle. So when it contracts, it's moving things along the pathway. And so the typical way that this is aligned is just as shown here in this picture, in that this inner layer, this is the circular layer, and the outer layer is the longitudinal layer. Okay, so it's going to move stuff along the pathway as well as squishing stuff along when it appears in different areas of the pathway. Now, here's an example of where there is a malfunction or a change in structure of the walls. And in this case, what we have is we have mucosa that has pushed through the submucosa and the muscularis, and in this case, all the way through, and it's made this little outpouching. These are found primarily in the large intestine, and this disease process is known as diverticulosis. So this is a beautiful drawing of what one little diverticulum would look like in a cross section, and here's what it would look like on the surface. Now, if somebody was having a colonoscopy, what you would see from the inside would be the openings of these diverticuli. Here's another one, there's another one. This actually is the lumen of the colon. And they're much more common on the left side of the colon, in the distal colon. If you were to look at the colon from the outside, you could see these outpouchings. These are quite large diverticuli in this segment of the colon. Now, the problem with having diverticulosis is that, as you can imagine, maybe feces can get stuck in there, or little pieces of undigested material could get stuck in there. Here is somebody who has a whole lot of diverticuli, you can see in this segment of colon. If things get stuck in there, then what can happen is this can get inflamed and you have a condition known as diverticulitis. And this happens in somewhere between 10% and up to maybe 25, 30% of the people with diverticulitis, where these pouches become infected and inflamed, and they actually can have bleeding and they can perforate and give you a peritonitis. And so here is an example of somebody who had to have a diverticulitis removed, and you can see the profound inflammatory reaction with the massive thickening surrounding the diverticuli, where there was the acute inflammation going on, kind of like an appendicitis, but at a diverticuli. So the last thing I'd like you to do is to review the layers. I've marked the layers here. I've marked 2 layers of this one, so be very specific, and also go back and talk about what the 2 different nerve layers, which I didn't mark, but talk about what they are doing. Thank you so much, and I'll see you when we come back, where we will start the process of food processing by having food enter the mouth and continue on into the esophagus. I'll see you soon.